Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today is actually going to be a bonus video. I wasn't able to make quality content last week because I was on vacation, and as all of you guys know, as all those gamers out there know, E3 was last week and a lot of hardware and a lot of games were announced, and I really wasn't able to talk about it because my saying is usually quality over quantity. So as soon as I got home I wanted to record, and so here I am doing this. Last week I watched all the conferences. I watched EA, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft, and I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on the games and the hardware that was announced. And this is opinionated, so just keep that in mind. Before we jump into it, if you haven't checked out my Uncharted and Doom series, make sure to go check that out as well. I will be starting some new series as well in the near future, so just keep that in mind. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. EA was probably the most disappointing conference for me, mainly just because they didn't really announce too many games that caught my eye. They didn't really get me psyched, not really hyped. EA usually tends to be this conference for me that they announce a couple games where I'm like, yes, like I get to play this game, but you know, other than that, I mean, I'm like, you know, it's all right. But just I'm gonna run through a couple games that actually caught my eye during this conference. Titanfall 2. I was a huge fan of the first Titanfall. I loved it. I played it a lot. But I just thought that it lacked replayability and it lacked content. There was not a lot of guns, no camos, no skins, not a lot of attachments. I can't remember if there even were any. But I just think that in this game they're going to add that, and I can't wait to see how they incorporate that into the sequel. The PS4 players are actually able to play it for the first time around, which I think is really, really cool. More people will be able to experience it. There were actually a couple of abilities that I saw that the players are going to be able to use in the multiplayer trailer. There was kind of like a teleportation ability. If you guys were looking at the multiplayer trailer, I thought that was very, very interesting how a guy kind of teleported behind the other dude and, you know, got him. There's also this, it's not an ability, more of a device where it was able to pull people together and shoot them down, which I thought was really interesting. It would be cool to see how players use that as well. If it's in multiplayer, I assume it will be. And then the grapple. I know people are really, really hyped about the grapple. I am too. I can't wait to see how they put this into the game. The grapple looks really, really cool. I loved in the multiplayer trailer how the guy just got out of his Titan, jumped out of his Titan, and went up into the sky and grappled that other dude and knocked him down. I thought that was really, really awesome. And then there are also going to be new Titan abilities. There was the guy with the laser chest, kind of like Iron Man, which I thought was awesome. I thought that was really, really cool. Overall, the game looks more defined, you know, just more content like I was hoping for. It has a single player, which a lot of people wanted. I can't wait to see where the plot goes with that, with the switching of pilots, and I think the guy's name is Jack something. I can't really remember. But one last thing I want to talk about is the swords. They have swords in Titanfall 2. I thought that was really, really cool. But other than that, I really cannot wait for Titanfall 2. I'm definitely pre-ordering it. I can't wait to see how they put all these things into the game and just, you know, make it better for us, essentially. Another game that stood out to me just a little was Mass Effect Andromeda, and I never really played the trilogy. I played a little bit of 2 back in the day, but I never really played 1 or 3, and I know the third one, its ending left a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. But in this game, it seems to be that you are helping humanity find a new home, and in order to do so, you are traveling to the Andromeda Galaxy, and it seems like a whole new adventure. It's powered by Frostbite, and this game honestly just caught my attention through its looks. It looks absolutely beautiful in Frostbite. Like, let me tell you, if you don't know, go watch the trailer from E3. You'll definitely be shocked as to how good it looks. But the trailer that they showed was just, you know, it was a behind-the-scenes look of how the game is being made, just the worlds, the creatures, the people, the ships. But other than that, I mean, it didn't really show too much. It didn't really show the fans anything new, besides the female protagonist at the end, which I thought was really interesting that they showed that at the end. But other than that, I mean, it didn't really show too much. It didn't really show anything new. It left kind of fans wondering what's going on, like, you know, what are you doing with the game. But I mean, other than that, I can't wait to see what they do with the game. I can't wait to see how fans react to it. I'll be looking up on news gaming sites in the near future to see how it does, what's going on with it, you know, etc., etc. Another part of EA's conference that really stood out to me was the Star Wars segment. It was kind of odd, you know. I think they were smart though about it. They were kind of like telling people like, hey, this is our plan. We're not going to show you too much, but here it is. You know, I thought that was smart, but I think a lot of fans took it the wrong way. They kind of wanted to see what they were going to do, and obviously Star Wars Battlefront 2 is in the works. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Visceral Games actually seems to be working on a narrative Star Wars game, which I'm actually really excited for. I was really hoping for a narrative Star Wars game in the near future, and I can't wait to see what they do with that. And Respawn Entertainment, the people who have been working on Titanfall 1, or the people who worked on Titanfall 1 and are currently working on Titanfall 2, are working on a third-person Star Wars game. I thought that was really, really interesting. interesting as well. I never would have thought that Respawn Entertainment would work on something like that, but I guess they are. Also, they are dabbling in the VR world with the X-Wing mission of Star Wars, I guess. I mean, if that's how you want to describe it. It just said X-Wing mission. I don't really know how to describe that. I don't really know what we're going to expect. All that we know is that you're going to be in an X-Wing and it's going to be in VR. That's pretty much it. That's all you can know. But my question is this too much Star Wars? You know, you have a lot of companies working on these Star Wars games. Is it going to saturate the name? Is it going to not make people want to get these games? I don't know. We'll see in the near future. It's just one of the questions that popped up in my head during that segment in the EA conference. To top it all off, Battlefield 1 definitely provided the hype for me next to Titanfall 2. I played Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Didn't really get into Hardline that much, wasn't really into that. But the graphics in this game, guys, let me tell you, from the live stream and from the trailers that they showed off at this game, Frostbite does wonders to the games that use its engine. It just looks amazing, as always. The fact that they're going to have ships, blimps, and tanks in this game, along with its World War I setting, definitely delivers to its fans. A lot of fans of Battlefield and Call of Duty really wanted to go back to that setting of World War I and World War II, and Battlefield delivered. Call of Duty, not so much, but I'm still excited for their game as well. I thought it was really, really cool that they had a 1 hour live stream of the game after their conference. I thought that really provided a lot to the fans. Thought that was really cool. But other than that, there's really not too much to say about this game other than the fact that myself, along with many other fans of the game, are super, super excited for it and can't wait to get our hands on it. I can't wait to see how multiplayer plays out, and I can't wait to see how the campaign plays out as well. I am a huge, huge fan of campaigns. I always play them before I play multiplayer, so I can't wait to get my hands on that as well. But other than that, I mean, let's just jump right into talking about the Bethesda conference. During the Bethesda conference, the first thing that really caught my eye was the content that was announced for Fallout 4 and Fallout Shelter. For Fallout 4, you're actually going to be able to have armor packs, weapon racks, crack kits, sorting machines, and these are going to be called contraptions. And then you're also going to be able to build your own vault, which is going to be called Vault Tech, and it's going to be like Fallout Shelter, but just a 3D version in Fallout 4. And then in Fallout Shelter, you're actually going to be able to send dwellers to quests. There's going to be a new combat system, new enemies, and it's actually coming to PC, which I thought was really, really cool. And the work on these games continues to blow me away. I think that Bethesda always brings what they need to bring to the table and then a little bit more. But from what I've been reading about what the fans have been saying, some people aren't really a fan of how the new content in Fallout 4 is mainly around building in the game, and if not a lot of people like building in the game, then what's the point of this content that's coming to the game? But you know, that's just something that I was reading. Another game that really made me love Bethesda's conference was the announcement of the new IP Prey, and it has been confirmed that this has nothing to do with the canceled Prey 2, so all you people out there that don't know that, there you go. But it definitely keened my interest with the whole plot and the trailer. How he wakes up every day, he puts on this suit in space, and he goes to the mirror and he checks to see if his eye is more red. And I want to know more. Like, it definitely, I just really want to know more about this game. As of right now, all we know is that it's in space, aliens aboard the ship, I think it was an experiment gone wrong, and you have to survive. And so that's all we know, and it's definitely good because I want to know more about the trailer. It definitely leaves me thirsting for more, so that game definitely piqued my interest. Dishonored 2 was actually shown off a little bit more at this conference, and I could not have been more excited. I was a huge fan of the first Dishonored. I got it for Christmas. I asked my parents, I was like, what the hell is this game? But I loved it. The art style, the abilities, the story, it all reeled me in very, very well. And the first trailer from last year for Dishonored 2 really made me hyped, and I loved the first one, like I said before. It just looks like it has refined graphics, the setting sounds interesting, how Karnaca is kind of like a Greece-like setting. There seems to be more verticality. Like I said, it looks very pretty. I like how they still keep Dunwall in there. Like they said that the game begins in Dunwall and ends in Dunwall. So I really like that as well, how they just didn't forget about Dunwall. I think it's dope that we can play as both Corvo and Emily, how you can play both old and new powers and just not combine them, but just experience both of those characters, which I think was really, really awesome. The world looks absolutely huge. It looks way bigger than the first Dishonored, which I really, really like. I love the gun gameplay, how in the gameplay trailer, not gameplay trailer, but in the gameplay they showed off at the conference, they had some gun gameplay, not of like a pistol, but it was kind of like a pistol shotgun hybrid kind of, and they used that, and it made me realize how much I miss that kind of gameplay in that sort of game, and I really want to get my hands on it. Emily's powers seem really awesome so far. How she can kind of turn into that, like, not like really a demon, but that sort of like monster creature. And I loved how if you pre-order Dishonored 2, you get the definitive edition of Dishonored for free. So I'm probably definitely going to be doing that. I might do a playthrough in the first Dishonored definitive edition, because I'm definitely going to pre-order Dishonored 2 just to get the first Dishonored on my PS4. So I might do a playthrough of that, but I thought that was really cool. And speaking of pre-ordering, the collector's edition looks amazing. The mask that comes with it looks really cool. But I'm just super hyped for this game. It looks amazing. Graphics look good. Story looks good. Gameplay looks good. I just can't wait to get my hands on it as a gamer. Lastly, the fact that Bethesda announced VR in Skyrim Special Edition definitely surprised me as a gamer overall. VR for Bethesda, it's probably going to be awesome. The fact that Fallout 4 and Doom are going to be the first 2 games from them to be in VR is amazing. Those games are beloved by the gaming community, and I can't wait to see how those play out in VR. I'm not really sure how I feel about VR yet. I don't really know if it's a fad or if it's going to be this huge thing that comes about the gaming community, but we'll see. And like I said, Skyrim Special Edition was announced, which was really interesting. I know there was a leak about it, but I didn't think it was actually going to happen, and I guess it did. So, I mean, there's going to be remastered graphics, all old mods will work, and there's really no release date. The trailer just showed off that it's going to look better on console than it did before. And so I know a lot of fans want more. I know the fans' reaction to it was a little mixed, but I'm sure it'll be a great game. But other than that, I really thought the Bethesda conference was solid. I mean, I know a lot of people were looking for a new Wolfenstein, but then they found that that Easter egg was in there at the very beginning of all that code being shown off. I know a lot of fans were wondering where Evil Within 2 was. I'm sure that'll come next year. But overall, I thought Bethesda kind of delivered. You know, they showed off games that I was looking forward to, and even more than that, they announced Prey, which I'm really excited for, like I was saying. But other than that, really solid conference. You know, I loved it. It was really good. So other than that, I mean, let's get into the Microsoft conference. For the Microsoft conference, the first thing that really kind of got me was the hardware that was announced. Now, gamers were expecting new hardware to come about from this conference, but not this much. So let me explain. So Xbox One S was announced. It looks much slimmer, 2 terabytes. I really like the white that has been added to both the controller and the console, and it's $299. So I mean, it's really affordable. It supports 4K internal power supply. Like I said, 2 terabytes. What's there not to like? I was like, oh, okay, you know, this looks good. But then they announced Project Scorpio at the end of the conference, and this made me think, like, why did you announce the Xbox One S? So Project Scorpio, the specs sound good, I guess. I mean, there's 6 teraflops of something. Their GPU is going to be good. They said it's the most powerful console in the industry. All games will be compatible on all consoles, which I thought was really cool. That's the thing that got me hyped, that all games from the first Xbox One to Project Scorpio will be playable, which I thought was amazing. And Spencer said that you're actually going to need, Phil Spencer said that you're going to need a 4K TV to reach all its potential. So I don't know how I feel about all of this, because with the announcement of the Xbox One S and Project Scorpio together, I feel like Xbox is sort of shooting themselves in the foot and setting up the Xbox One S for failure. Because for a gamer like myself who already has an Xbox One, why get the Xbox One S when you can just wait till Project Scorpio comes out? It doesn't really make too much sense to me. The only reason I can see why you'd get an Xbox One S is if you just want to get it and have the money for it, or if you don't have an Xbox One yet and you really want to get one. And I would highly recommend doing that. If you don't have an Xbox One yet, get the Xbox One S. But other than that, I really don't see why you'd get one. It just seems like kind of like a waste of money when you can just wait for Project Scorpio. So like I said, it just kind of feels like they are shooting themselves in the foot. But let's get off the topic of hardware and move into the games of this conference. So Dead Rising 4 was announced. I never really got around to the third one. I really wanted to play the third one. I played a little bit of the second one, not the first one. But this game looks really interesting with its Christmas setting and all the Christmas-esque weapons, and you know, there's snow, all that stuff. It looks really cool to me. There's lots of guns and zombies as usual in a Dead Rising game. And it just seems like classic Dead Rising, which looks really cool to me. I can't wait to pick up this game. I really want to get into the third one now that I've seen this one. And it seems like there's going to be a December release, which seems appropriate because it's set in Christmas. So I can't wait to see where they go with Dead Rising 4. ReCore was actually shown off last year, and the fact that they showed it off even more this year really made me excited for the game. I'm very keen of the gameplay and the story. The game looks very pretty with interesting characters. I thought it was actually just going to be the girl and the robot dog, but it seems like there's more characters, which I'm super excited for. I wish they had said just a tad more about the game. I'm still left a little confused, and the fact that it's a September release really really makes me even more confused because I don't really know too much about the game. But it's definitely bigger than I thought, which makes me really, really excited and really surprised me, actually. It's more of an open world game, which I thought was really, really cool. But that's Recore. I mean, there wasn't really too much shown of Recore. We Happy Few was shown off, and I had no idea it was on Steam before, and the fact that it's coming to Xbox One in July, I think I could be wrong on that, makes me super, super excited. It looked really, really good. The gameplay, the story really caught my eye. If you don't know what this game is, it's basically set in the 60s. You're a dude, and in this society where everyone needs to be happy, and in order to be happy, you take these pills called joy, and if you start becoming sad, you just take a pill and you become happy again. And this dude, he has sort of this flashback, I think, of just like a sad moment, and he kind of rejects the joy pills, and the people who actually become sad are called downers, and the society instantly needs to get rid of them as soon as they find them. So I think it's just a survival game, and it looks really, really good. It definitely piqued my interest, and I cannot wait to see more of this game. And I'm definitely doing a playthrough in this game for you guys. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Fans wanted to see more of Halo Wars 2, and they definitely got a little bit more of Halo Wars 2. I love the first one and its playing style. I remember I came home and my mom got it for me, and she put it on my bed. She was like, "Here you go, honey." I was like, "Oh, this is dope." Anyway, the first one had really good cinematics for the time being and a good story overall. The trailer at E3 really makes me want even more. Since I was at vacation last week, I wasn't able to get my hands on the beta, and I am very, very mad because I wanted to play the beta. From Dan Ayub talking, it makes me more interested in the story, how the soldiers from the UNSC are fighting this sort of faction known as the Banished, and I really want to know more about the Banished. The gameplay is going to be exactly like Halo Wars from the looks of it, and it just looks better and most likely will have new features. But other than that, I mean, I really just want to get my hands on Halo Wars 2, just like any other game that I've talked about. Fans were wanting to know where Crackdown 3 was. Where's Crackdown 3? It got announced, I think, last year, and fans were just wanting to see a little bit more. So that's something else that kind of came up in my brain while I was watching the Microsoft conference. But let's move on to the Ubisoft conference. Ghost Recon Wildlands was the first game that really caught my attention during the Ubisoft conference. The setting looks very pretty and keens my interest. I like the aspect that you're in a group. I like the plot. I love the open world, but I feel like there's something missing, and maybe that's just me, but I mean, the game looks cool, I guess, but it's one of those games that I'm not going to be picking up until it goes on sale. It's just one of those games. People think that they're milking the Tom Clancy body, but I don't think that's the case. A lot of people are comparing it to MGS5, and I do not see the comparison with that. I played the crap out of MGS5. I mean, I can see the open world aspect of it being compared, but other than that, I really don't see what's the same with both of those games. But like I said, it's going to be one of those games that I pick up on sale. But it definitely, piqued my interest in the Ubisoft conference. So, I mean, there's that. South Park: The Fractured But Whole was shown off, and I was super, super excited when they were showing off this game. I never really got around to playing the first one, but I really, really wanted to. So the fact that you can pre-order this one and get the first one, I'm definitely going to do that, and I might do a playthrough of that on my channel. I think it's very, very interesting with the whole superhero aspect, how they went from fantasy to superheroes. Really, really cool. By the looks of it, though, it seems like it's just a stick of truth, but with superheroes and superpowers, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We'll see. But one of the coolest things, though, about these games is that the creators of South Park do a good job of making it so that you feel like you're playing an episode of South Park, and I feel like that is really, really cool, and that's not something that you feel all the time. And so like I said, I'm super excited for South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Another game that really, really did it for me, and that really, really got me hyped, let me tell you, was For Honor. I mean, it might not be one of those games that sticks around, but I am definitely going to pick it up. So last year's reveal had me super hyped for the game. The whole multiplayer aspect of it was awesome. I love that. I love the melee combat and the old school war. When seeing the gameplay last year, I felt like something new and something I've never seen before. The gameplay they showed this year was even better than last year's. The campaign looks great from just what they showed. And I would love to know more about the story and the multiplayer, how the different classes, the weapons, the modes, and all that. We don't really know too much about it, although that comes out on Valentine's Day. What a perfect day for a game to be released like this. But I really want to know more about For Honor. Definitely going to pick this game up. Lastly, to top off Ubisoft's conference for me, Watch Dogs 2 was shown off. And I was a huge fan of the first one. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought the combat and the gameplay was good. The story, though, was not executed properly. I thought Aiden was kind of a whiny bitch. And I didn't think that he was executed properly. So I hope that they do that with Marcus, and I hope that they can make him a beloved character by the gamers. I really hope that they're able to better their downfalls with the first Watch Dogs and the second one. A good one is the story that I was just talking about. I really hope the story is better than the first one. I like the aspect of the better parkour. I like the setting of San Francisco. I like how there's more hacking, as I feel like the first one, there wasn't enough hacking when the entire game revolved around hacking. I'm interested to see where the story goes. The gameplay that they showed off was not really... It didn't really show too much story. It was just a mission. And so I really want to see where they go with the story. I like the gadgets, the quadcopter and the RC car. I'm really excited to get my hands on those. But the one thing that I'm not a fan of already in this game is his weapon. What's it called? I think it's called... I don't know if it's called anything, but it's just a billiard ball and a piece of paracord. And so he just kind of swings it around and just hits people. Maybe I'll become a fan of it when I play it. We'll see. But right now, I think it's kind of corny and kind of cheesy. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But other than that, let's jump right into the Sony press conference. Right out of the gate, God of War was announced by Sony, and I could not have been more excited. I thought it was a great way to announce it and start a conference. I love Kratos' old look with his beard, Dad of War. I want to know who is the boy, and if Kratos is his father figure, his guardian. I really want to know more about that. I thought Kratos' axe, I thought that was really, really cool. I know it's not his old blades, his old combat blades, but I thought the axe was really, really, really cool. And the game looks very pretty. It seems like it's taking a narrative story route, more than the old God of Wars. And I'm really, really excited for that, for God of War to tell a story. And I'm not saying that the old God of Wars didn't tell a story, but I feel like fans of the franchise kind of looked at him as a person who would just go kill monsters, and it was just kind of a hack and slash game. And so I'm really excited to see where they take the story of this game. PSVR was shown off a little bit more, and I could not have been more excited to see more of where PlayStation was going with their VR. It's going to be $399. It's going to have 50 titles from launch to the end of the year. It's going to have an October release, which I thought was really, really cool, so it's coming this year. But other than that, I'm still really skeptical on VR. Like I said earlier in the video, I don't really know how I feel about it yet. A new IP was actually shown off during the Sony press conference, and it was Days Gone. It seems fairly interesting with the apocalyptic setting near Oregon. The character's name is Deacon St. John. It's 2 years after a pandemic that turned people into zombie-like creatures called freakers. I know a lot of fans have been saying that they're tired of the zombie-like games, but I think the thing that really, really, really got me in this trailer, or not in the trailer, but in the gameplay, was when there was like hundreds of zombies chasing him, and he was just taking them out one by one. And I was like, this has really caught my interest. Like, this is the game that I want to get my hands on. And so I really can't wait to see where they go with Days Gone and what they do with it. Horizon Zero Dawn was shown off a little bit more, and it looks very, very cool with the dialogue system and the combat and whatnot. They definitely exceeded my expectations with showing off more of the game this year. The map looks huge, way, way, way bigger than I thought it was going to be. And I think that the fact that it's a female protagonist is great. I feel like there's not enough female protagonists in the world of games, and so I feel like that's really, really cool. But other than that, I mean, I really, really hope the game just delivers. I really hope that it's not just kind of like a flub of a game. So I can't wait to see where they go with Horizon Zero Dawn as well. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered were shown off a little bit more at the Sony conference, and it's all right. I mean, I'm excited for it, I guess. I'm a huge COD fanboy, and with that being said, watching the trailer at first, I had no idea it was Call of Duty, and that's bad. Like, I was watching it the first, 10 seconds, and maybe, 20 seconds in, I was like, this is Call of Duty? And so, I mean, I'm going to be pre-ordering it. I want to play Call of Duty 4 Remastered, obviously. That game was a beloved game in my childhood, so I'm definitely going to be playing that. It seems like there's going to be current modern guns in the game, even though it's in space and in the future. I don't really know how that's going to work. The space warfare there looks cool. I'm not going to deny that looks really cool. The jet fighting looks really cool as well. The fact that it's not like on rails and that you can actually control it's really, really awesome. But other than that, I'm really just keen to see how fans will react to it and how the community of Call of Duty will react to it, because after this, I mean, if Sledgehammer Games makes a future kind of esque game for Call of Duty, I mean, that's just going to put Call of Duty in the shitter. And I really hope that they don't make a future Call of Duty, because I'm one of those people who wants them to go back to World War I and World War II. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with the game. Now, probably one of the most hype moments during this E3 conference was when Hideo Kojima came out and he said, "I'm back," in English. And so I remember I freaked out during that moment, and he showed off Death Stranding, his new title, as Norman Reedus, which is awesome. Norman Reedus is in this game. Looks very gritty and dark. Where is Norman? Don't know. Why is there dead fish around him? Have no idea. Why is he connected to a baby? No one knows. And so there are a lot of questions that are revolved around this game that no one really knows how to answer. And so that leaves a lot of people wondering what this game is going to be and what it's going to be about, including myself. A new Spider-Man game was shown off, and I have been waiting for a proper Spider-Man game forever. And the fact that Insomniac Games is delivering this game is amazing, because they made Sunset Overdrive, and Sunset Overdrive is one of my favorite titles for the Xbox One, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Spider-Man. People were wondering where No Man's Sky was. Don't really know. I think it got delayed, actually. Maybe not. I could be wrong on that, but I really want to see. I really want to know where they were. You know, I feel like it's one of those games where it's going to be super hyped and doesn't deliver. But lastly, Crash Bandicoot Remastered is coming to the PS4. And I remember playing these games as a kid, and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Oh, God, I'm so excited for these remasters. For me, though, I definitely feel like Sony took the cake with this one. They showed off games that I was looking forward to, and games that I didn't even know about. So they definitely impressed me the most with their conference. But that's not to say that all the other conferences weren't great as well. All of them were good. They might have had their flaws, but EA, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Microsoft, they were all good. With that being said, it is a fantastic time to be a gamer. If anyone's winning, us gamers are winning. We are getting games that we could not have imagined. We're getting consoles and hardware that we could not have imagined. And it's just a great time to be a gamer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was very long. I just had a lot to talk about post E3, so hopefully you stuck around with me until the end. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give me that thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from myself, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Tomorrow will be more Uncharted, so look out for that. And other than that, guys, I'm out. Peace.